before, like I said before, it's not when my significant other passed.
In 7 days.
Judge, can I say just one more thing, and I'm gonna let you go? About 3 different managements
Robinson,
right now.
Yes, Your Honor.
So Mr. Robinson, I don't think the result is going to be a whole lot different, but we will see. Okay, I didn't see any legal.
I'm just asking.
You can have a hearing. You can have a hearing.
I'm just asking if I could get a little bit more time. Okay.
I can't give you more time. Like, I'm statutorily prevented from giving you more time. Like, I just can't. The best I can do is next Wednesday, which is what they were giving you. So.
She told me October the 1st.
That's next week. That's 7 days from today. So that's all I can give you. So I mean this
is my hearing right now.
Yes, sir. All right. You guys were previously sworn in. So
I didn't agree. I'm not agreeing to that.
Okay, and you're not agreeing, and I understand, which is why we're having a hearing. So Ms. Williams, you can go ahead and present your case.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, we're requesting a judgment on the pleadings. Your Honor, the defendant has provided no legally sufficient defense to the non-payment of rent. The defendant previously attempted to remove this case to federal court. It was remanded. We submitted our motion to have this placed back on the calendar. And at this point, the defendant has not paid rent since January. So we are seeking for the defendant to vacate.
I paid.
Mr. Robinson, you don't get to interrupt her. You do not get to interrupt. You have to wait for your turn. Go ahead, Ms. Williams.
So, Your Honor, at this point, we are seeking for the defendant to vacate the unit, and we're seeking the judgment on the pleading. So vacate the unit within 7 days.
And you're not seeking any sort of money judgment? You're still not seeking money?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Robinson, if you want to unmute for me for just a second, they are not seeking. Not just Mr. Robinson, not just yet. You have to wait. They are not seeking any sort of money judgment. So they're just saying you haven't paid since January. They're not seeking any sort of money judgment. And I understand you say you disagree with that. But they're just seeking possession. They're not seeking any sort of financial order against you. They just want possession of the property. Let's see. Hold on one second. Say open my rent alone. I started paying my rent without any assistance.
When you get done, I am able to talk.
Just
Judge.
Mr. Robinson, please stop. You don't seem to understand that you need to wait for other people to finish. Okay, and they filed this on. Okay, they filed this in July. Your answer states, Mr. Robinson, that you stopped paying in July. I understand you dispute whatever amount they say you owe, but they are not seeking any, like I said, again, they're not seeking any sort of financial order against you. Okay, so it just looks like you, in your answer, admitted that you haven't paid since July, or June would be the last payment. July, you stopped paying. And they just want possession of the property. So, Mr. Robinson, you can go ahead and say whatever you want to say now. We can unmute.
First of all, she just said the last time I paid rent was in January. That was a lie. You were correct. Yes, you did. You just said January.
I did.
You were correct. You and Judge, can I please say this? I'm not. I told her as well. Nothing against nobody. I lost my significant other back in November 26 in 2004. My job had went under a month before he passed. Okay, I did not know he was sick from pancreas cancer, but he passed within a month. We had always been on top of our rent. The last rent that me and my significant other paid together was in November. When I got a hold of the landlords and them back in December, I got the apartment in my name, and it was like maybe 2 weeks later, I started getting emails and texts telling me that I was behind in my rent. And I had already told them that I was seeking I'm a CNA/PCNT. I take care of the elderly, and I just take care of other human beings. I've been doing it since 97. And I told them that I was seeking work. So they told me, one of the managers, he's no longer with the business. He left. But the one manager, he was nice to me. He told me, Mr. Robinson, I will give you time. I understand your situation. Okay. But it's the one manager, his name is JP, smart mouth, bad attitude, and talks to his tenants like we ain't nothing. So he told me he would give me time. And there's an app that they have, and it's called Flex. I had first of all, I had went through another organization, and they paid my rent up for like 3 or 4 months, and I started paying my rent on my own in May. I
That's what
was
your answer
paying
says. Yes.
I was paying. There's an app called Flex where you can pay half of it in the beginning of the month and half of it before the end of the month ends out. That's what I was doing, paying half. The only thing I did not do was join that app called Flex. And a lot of the other tenants over here do not get on that Flex app because it's asking entirely too much of your business. They ask a lot. They tack on fees and everything else. We did not have to deal with a lot of things that this new management is doing. And then secondly, when my significant other passed, his daughter came like a week before his funeral and put her hands around my neck. The only reason why I did not press charges is because I know she was halfway through RN school and she has a 7-year-old daughter. But I had asked the landlord and them, could they change my locks? Do you know they did not change my locks? They agreed to come in and change it, but when I was not able to produce, when I was not able to produce any money towards the rent, and I told him I was still in the process of getting a job, and it was looking good for me, they did not come and change the locks until like a month or two later. No, maybe 3 months later. And I told him, I just didn't think that was right, that my life, I felt threatened and that they couldn't change the locks. These landlords, they don't come over here, and it's not just me. These landlords do not come over here and fix anything that needs to be fixed up. All they do is hound you every month for your rent. That's all you hear. You get text messages, voicemails, calls. They do this to all the tenants. None of the tenants over here have that Flex app. So I don't understand why when I was started paying my rent on my own back in May, and they was taking half in the beginning, half in the end. When July came, I had half of the rent and I was going to pay it. When I tried to go on that portal thing that they have where you can go to Walmart to pay your rent, they had blocked me. That's why I was not able to pay my July rent. And I kept calling them and telling them I have half of my rent. They said, JP told me, the manager, he told me, no, he's going to take me back to court. I don't know what it is about my apartment. And it's not just me. They do this to some more, but I don't know what it is about my apartment, but ever since my significant other passed in November, I have been so stressed out. I haven't even been able to mourn in peace for George. Okay. I've been so stressed out, and I have health problems as well. And that's another reason why I needed my AC fixed. And they just putting the AC in maybe 2 months ago. But like I said, they should be glad that I even still want to be here. And the only reason why I still want to be in my place, ma'am, is because I've been living here since 2015. I'm comfortable. I'm 54 years old. I guess I'm set in my ways. I'm a good person. I get out of myself and go take care of other people's family members. But like I said, I have felt more stress from the landlord JP with his smart mouth, just rude to me.
All right.
And like I said before, it's not fair that I was paying my rent starting in May on my own, and I was giving them half at the beginning and half at the end. But then when July came, they blocked me. And I asked him, I said, why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this? I have the rent. I can send it to you. No, we don't want the rent. We're just going to send you to court. And I asked him, why you want me out of my apartment so bad? This is my home. I have a full furnished apartment, nice things in here. I am too old to be sitting up, packing up stuff, being stressed out behind some slum landlords that don't want to come over here and fix up anything. And it's not just me. All the other tenants feel the same way. And it's not right.
Okay. I hear your
And then
obviously very
they gonna give
upset.
me 7 days, ma'am. My court date just came up today, and you gonna give me 7 days
Seven
to
days.
figure out
That's
what's.
all
I
I
don't
can give.
have no family here. I don't have nobody here.
All
George
right,
is the
Mr.
only thing that I
Robinson.
hate.
Mr. Robinson, I'm going to stop you for a second. Okay. Again, if we were debating like how much rent is owed, we're not doing that. Okay. You admitted yourself that rent hasn't been paid, and you are muted. So I'm not having to, I'm
I
not.
want to stay in my place. This is my home.
All right. They are not, if you have missed rent, and I understand that you wanted to pay half payment, they don't have to take partial payments. They're just not
But
required to do that. They chose
but
to
that's
stop
what.
taking. Mr. Robinson, I'm going to put you on mute until you let me finish. Okay. They don't have to take partial payments. They decided to stop taking partial payments. I understand you wanted to pay partial payments in July. They stopped doing that. It looks like the only thing they have to show today to get possession of the property is that you owe rent. It looks like you admitted in your answer and today you do owe rent. And it, you know, like I said, we're not debating on how much rent is owed, et cetera, et cetera. They're not asking for a money judgment against you that they can try to collect on to garnish your wages or anything like that. They're not trying to do that. They just want possession of the property. Based on what I've heard today, the pleadings that you filed, the testimony today, it looks like you do owe rent. They filed it. They didn't file it in May or anything like that. This has been pending after the missed July payment. And so they can get possession of the property. I statutorily cannot give you any more than 7 days. I don't have the ability to do that. So that is October 1st at 11:59 p.m. And that will be the order of the court. And again, this is a judgment on the pleadings. That will be the order of the court. Mr. Robinson, if you do disagree with my decision, you can file a petition for review if you choose to do that. He's not really listening to me anyway. So you are free to go, Mr. Robinson. That'll be the order of the court. You're both
Yes, I am. I'm listening to you. Yes, I
okay.
am.
All right.
I'm listening to you.
Okay. Well, that's the order of the court. They can have possession in 7 days. If you do disagree with my decision, you can file a petition for review, and you can put the DeKalb County Magistrate Court website on the petition for review for the details on how to do that if you choose to. Okay. All right. You just have to make sure it's filed within 7 days.
Judge, can I say just one more thing and I'm gonna let you go? I asked them, why are you so persistent about wanting my apartment? And one of my neighbors looked in their website and he saw where the majority of their properties are Airbnbs and they don't really have any other properties that they are renting out. That's why I think he wants me out my place so he can turn my apartment into an Airbnb apartment.
And that may be the case, Mr. Robinson.
But that's not right. This is my home. I've been here since 2015. And do you know how many managers that we have had? We have had about 3 different managers.
Mr. Robinson,
right now,
I can't take up any more court time with this. I understand you're frustrated, but I am going to have to end the hearing now. You are free to go. So you're free to log off. Have a nice rest of your day, sir. Thank you. Ms. Williams.